Black Girl Burnout podcast. Kelley here, and today we're having a little bit of a program note. I am having our guest episode air today instead of next week. So next week, the episode will be all about how to infuse your life with micro joy, pleasure, and delight. But this week, we are having a conversation with Kisha from Travel Niche Kish, as she goes by on Instagram. Kisha has been to over 70 countries and 4 of the 7 continents, and when she's not traveling, she's helping you get the best experiences, guides, and she's a consultant helping you secure travel in a way that brings you joy. Now, this episode is a part of our Summer of Yes series, and while we're saying yes to joy and delight and all the things, we're probably also saying yes to travel. And so this episode is for you if you love traveling, and even if you are sitting there thinking, I can't afford to go anywhere this summer, that's okay. This episode is for you too, because we talk about how to create the joy of travel and the experiences of travel without ever leaving your front door. So let's jump into the conversation with Kisha. It's a delightful one, and let's hear what she has to say.
All right, Keisha, so excited to have you on. This is an example, like you slid in my DMs, and I always answer my DMs. People don't believe me, but I do. I answer every single DM that gets sent to me. If I've missed your DM, just send it again because I know I usually miss it. I usually grab it and say hello. So you slid in my DMs and you're like, I love this podcast and I love traveling. And I'm like, it's coming up on the summer. We need to record an episode where we encourage people to like get out there and do. And if they can't get out there and do, what are some like manageable destinations? And so I'm like, Kisha, perfect timing. Thanks for that DM. You want to be on the podcast? So with that said, how are you doing today, Kisha?
I am good. Booked and busy. Good. How are you?
Same. I was just telling you, we're airing this a little bit before everyone's going to hear it. And the time difference has just happened. And I'm fighting for my life. That's what I told Keisha. I said, it's rough out here. I've lost all sense of time and I'm just trying to rally. I'm like, I in my 20s, I was like, what is time difference? I'm ready to go. That is not happening at this age. I'm just like, what is time difference? I can't remember who I am anymore. So Keisha is helping me gather my life and also reminding me of the importance of rest and the fact that I need probably a vacation. And so I'm like, I need someone to help me plan all this and to tell me all about this. So you are all about travel. Tell me how you got into this. Tell me what you currently do that's related to this and all things about Keisha and this travel niche this business you've developed. I want to hear more about it.
Absolutely. Kelley, thank you so much for having me. And yes, we do all need travel. We really do. So I actually started traveling about a decade ago now, and I'm currently at 69 destinations. I'm going to be 70 soon. So I count countries, I count cities because everywhere is a new place for me. And I started traveling. I literally went on a trip with one of my girlfriends in high school, and it changed the game for me completely. When I was a child, vacations for us was an hour away to a theme park with my family or going to see my grandmother, which again, as a child, it's fun, but it's not as adventurous as we'd like it to be. So yeah, that just sparked my love for travel and I've been moving ever since.
And so a slightly related question is, why do you think you said you started with like, we all need to be traveling? Why do you think that? I just want to follow up on that. Why do you think we should all, particularly as Black women, we should be out in the world traveling?
100%. We need to be out there enjoying life, doing all the things that we may have never thought we could do. And for me personally, it's all around mental health. So my background's in social work, and you know that in that field, we work hard. Burnout is high. So for me, knowing that I was embarking on my journey to become a social worker as well, I needed something to balance myself. And traveling is exactly it. So that's my break. Traveling is my
And we
break.
love hearing. Yes, and I love hearing that. One, as a fellow social worker, traveling was also something for me too that I loved and loved doing. And I think that brings me to, we're going to come back to some other, like I want to hear your favorite travel destinations, but I also want to talk a little bit about traveling, especially if you're in the United States and in particularly the Western world, can be really expensive. Like, I love hearing like a social worker who loves to travel because social workers are not super rich people at all. And so how do you kind of do this kind of budget friendly, but luxury. We're all not, we're not trying to sleep on cots and have, the real sad life. Like we really want to have a restful trip. So how can we create those kind of joy-filled trips without breaking the bank?
Absolutely. So there's lots of things that you can do. I would say if you have any friends, cousins, sisters, brothers, anybody that is open to travel with you, that would be one. We need friends so we can split costs. Everything's
Yes.
expensive,
Facts.
including our groceries. So definitely it's great to split costs. I would always say have a budget, right? If you know that you only have $1,000, well, we need to navigate to see what we can do with that $1,000. And something I also love as well is chase the deal, not the destination.
Oh, tell me more about this. What is this?
So I love chasing a deal instead of the destination. So, for example, I was able in the last 2 years to go to Curacao in the Caribbean as well as Peru. Just last year, the flights were 300 round trip.
Oh, wow.
Right. So I think the biggest thing is that people are always stressing about, oh, I need luxury, I need $500 nights, but not all of us can afford it, right? So I say chase a deal. If you see a deal online, there's a website I like called secretflying.com, actually. Sign up for notifications and you will get that deal in your email. They have several a day and just book it. Don't think twice. Just book it.
I love that too. And I love the whole concept of chasing the deal because you can still get those kind of higher end luxury, but they're discounted and they may be places you've never thought about. When people think about the West Indies, they don't always think about Curacao. It's so funny. I was just having this conversation with my mom. She was like, you need to go to Curacao. You should go there. And it's not a place people think about, right? Or a lot of people, Peru may not be on their list, but what were the benefits for you for picking a place, chasing that deal? What did you kind of discover? What did you love about those choices that you made?
Yeah, absolutely. So Curacao, it was spur of the moment, really and truly. And Curacao is a part of the ABC Islands. So Aruba, Curacao, and Bonaire. So for myself, they were already on my list after I went to Aruba first. So in my mind, I'm like, if I ever see a deal and it's a place that I'm somewhat interested in, I'll check it out. And the Caribbean, the food,
Yes.
the weather. So it's kind of like they had me at beach, really and truly. Um, so that's that. And then I saw Peru. So Machu Picchu has always been on my list. Did not get to Machu Picchu because of time, but I got to explore Lima. I went with my cousin and we just ate our hearts out. And we found out that like it's one of the top like places to eat in the world because there's so many fusion. Yeah, so they have like the most Michelin star restaurants in South America. So we just learned that and started trying different foods. And the tours, the history, the people, it was great. It was amazing.
I love that. I love that the kind of unexpected surprises you can get when you're not so rigidly focused. We live in this kind of Instagram world where there's certain destinations that are always glamorized, that are always like, you need to go here. This is where everyone should go. And
Yeah.
yet the reality is there's a lot of hidden gems, there's a lot of lesser known places, and chasing the deal will get you to those places probably more than not. And the second thing I think about is the kind of experience, like chase the deal and chase the experience. Like if you are like, I really just want to relax. So I'm just going to make sure that I get a deal that will ensure that it's relaxing. Like, okay, going to an island is going to be a little more relaxing than going to a major city somewhere else. And so matching those two things together can get you that experience that you're looking for without necessarily breaking the bank, I'm guessing, right?
Exactly. Yeah, 100%. And you get to decide what you want to do, right? Like I go research crazy as soon as I book a flight. So I just make
Me too.
sure if I'm going for 3, 4 days that I only do what I want to do, right? So I just look it up, make an itinerary, and then I just stick to my itinerary and explore.
Yes. And to that point, like I love how you're setting like your little stages and things like that. And one of the things I love about how you're being spontaneous, you're researching, but you're also, you are curating an experience for yourself. We've all been kind of guilty of needing a vacation from a vacation. Like I think now as I've gotten older, that's less of a thing because I'm like, I'm tired. Like we can do a tour and then I got to lay down. Like I'm tired. But in my 20s, I was like, whiplash. I would get off the plane and collapse and have to go to work the next day, right? And just be exhausted. And so what are your best tips for making travel truly restful and restorative versus like one more thing we're putting on our to-do list, which is so distracting and so actually depleting?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I feel it, right? So that's why I always have to make sure I take time as well. So, what I would say would be to always take a day off work if you can upon return. That's number one, right? Because I feel like once you land, it's kind of like, oh, things can be chaotic now, right? Back to reality. So, I always suggest take a day off when you return, or at least have like a good 12 hours to get your things together. But also while you're traveling, like this is about self care. Why are we running up and down the streets? We can enjoy our hotel that we paid for, right? We can enjoy some room service. We can enjoy spa services, lay by the pool. So I think my biggest thing is I always schedule in some rest time when I'm on vacation. And again, I build an itinerary through Canva and all these things. But I just make sure that I put those things in. And I definitely think everyone needs to be able to fit in some rest time, even if it's sleeping in or going to bed really early.
Yeah, and I think it's a scarcity mindset. We started with, track the deal and kind of follow the deal, not the destination. And I think part of the kind of need to like get everything in is like, I paid so much for this trip, or this idea that I'm not going to be able to do this again. Like it's a once in a lifetime. I've been in Peru, so therefore I must see every single thing in
Right.
Lima and never take a break. And it's that kind of mindset that will ruin and derail your vacation, right? Full stop. Like it'll just make you miserable. And so I love the idea of really bringing restoration and rest centered in it by just, it's okay. Like letting go of the mindset that you have to do all the things all the time. That's why we're going on vacation, right? It's like we're trying to go to get away from it. And then we bring the energy of work to vacation.
Right. And it's kind of like we just have to be mindful. Like, why are we on vacation? Right. And I know for me, I want a mental health break from work. So if I have a chance to lay out all day and do nothing and just have a book, that's what I'm going to do. And I think
Yes.
people should.
You're speaking my language. I'm like, yeah, I want to lay out and just read a book. No, it's true though. It's about knowing why you're going. And that also thinks so not everybody necessarily wants to lay on the beach. I mean, right now that's what I'm craving, but there's a lot of times I don't. So for people who want a little more, right, that don't want to do just like let's say like an all-inclusive, just lay on the beach, not move, read a book, people want that mix of adventure and relaxation. What kind of top destinations would you say are perfect for a summer getaway, or if people have to wait a little longer and plan a fall getaway? Like, what do you think would be a nice blend of that?
So there's so many options, of course. But because I'm here in Toronto, in Canada, I always like to big up Toronto, big up Canada, and just enjoy what we have domestic, right? So, for example, I was born on the east coast of Canada in Halifax, Nova Scotia. So I know that's on the Atlantic Ocean, right? But you can also get amazing seafood. You can also enjoy downtown. You can enjoy the lighthouse at Peggy's Cove. So I would definitely say something that's local or just domestic within your own country. Or, for example, you could go to the Rockies, the Canadian Rockies, where you can see the beautiful mountains and do some hiking, camping. So that's what I would say within Canada. I have a great obsession with Central and South America. And that's also because of affordability. It's very cheap in those countries. So I would say El Salvador, Guatemala, even Belize, Argentina. There are so many places where you can go and have adventure, but also just rest. And otherwise, of course, the Caribbean on this side of the world. So Dominican Republic, Mexico, Jamaica, Barbados, anywhere where you know that you're going to be able to rest, but also be able to do lots of activities. And all of the places in North America, as well as down to Latin America, we have those options.
We'll give you that. Yeah, I love that. And I also like, I'm a big fan of, you said Nova Scotia. I love that side of the world. I used to go to Prince Edward Island often,
Yes,
and I loved great seafood, beautiful little island, quiet. That's more quiet, I will say.
it
That's
is.
more of a resting, but it just, you reminded me of that piece. I was like, oh, yes, I love that side of the world. And
Yeah.
Toronto is a great city as well. I think that's a great idea about picking places that have a little bit of like downtime built in them, but have
Mhm.
lots of activities and not feeling the need to go so far.
Exactly.
Again, when you go further, it costs a little bit more, even if it's a cheaper destination like Asia or Thailand or
Right.
places like that. it's getting there, and it's the time that you have to take off, right? Like you're not going to you're so disoriented when you get back from a place like that you are not jumping back into work. So it's like, it's a real planned trip. So thinking more local, thinking more, what's a couple hours flight for me? What is not going to change the time zone too radically, right? That I can go, but we'll have a lot of activities, have things to do that aren't going to break the bank or break my spirit when I have to recover from all of it.
It's true. And that's why I always say, if you want a short trip, make it a 5-hour or less flight. If you can get direct, even better.
Yes. That's me usually. It's direct and 5 hours or less, unless I like to go to Europe a lot. So Europe will be a little bit longer, but it's within that. But the point of that too, to your point, is like within 5 hours also will not be so hard on you with time difference.
Exactly.
Because the closer it is, the less time difference you're going to experience. And again, we want to be restful and have fun. And we don't want to we might need a quick getaway or less than a week, and you're not going to be able to adjust in time to enjoy. So I totally agree with that. Okay. I wanted to ask you about some of your favorite places and some hacks, some travel hacks. So what is one underrated, we'll go travel hack, and then I want to ask destination, but what's one underrated travel hack that most people don't know about, but it is a game changer for you?
Okay, so I have a few.
Okay, yay. Give it to us. Give it to us.
So number 1, book accommodations that include breakfast. Yeah. You can save money there. You can sleep in. You can enjoy your hotel. You have food there. So that's one meal that you do not have to worry about. That's 1. 2, I'm a carry-on girly. I do not want to check in my bag ever. So packing cubes. Get you some packing cubes and plan your outfits. That way we're not overpacking, because we don't need 10 pairs of pants that we don't plan to wear. Plan your outfits, packing cubes. That will save you, but also save money if you're always a person that always packs a check-in luggage. And airlines are forever changing the rules when it comes to baggage. So I would say that. Another one that I don't know if a lot of people are tuned in with this yet, but there's booking.com, for example, where they have book now and pay later for hotels with free cancellation. So I always say, if you're uncertain of what area you want to stay in, or just what you want to do overall, I think that's a good hack to book now, pay later. That way there's no money on the line today, and you have that grace period to cancel and make changes should you need to. And lastly, travel hack, if you're responsible, credit card rewards and travel points. I've traveled so much with Aeroplan, Star Alliance, Air Canada, United, all of them in a decade. I probably took at least 20 flights by now where I just had to pay taxes. So I would definitely say, if you're responsible, you have discipline, get a credit card that can help you in terms of points, because a good credit card that works for you is the best for travel.
Really and truly, I love all of these hacks. Thank you for them, because they really are, they are game changers. I'll work backwards. Credit card points, absolutely. Don't do it if you're in debt. Do it in a way that you have a credit card that you use for expenses that you pay off right away. Like the day it's due, you have it automatically set to pull from your checking account the balance, right?
Yep.
That's what you want. So, but it racks up points really quickly and really wonderfully. And I've taken many a vacation on my points. I have family members who are they've gone to Hawaii. They've gone to, before they would drive down the PCH coast. They've gone all these great locations, all off travel points. So absolutely, for sure. You talked as well about the way we pack. Yeah. Black women, come to the front of the room.
Come close.
Come close. So yeah, lean in. Lean in. Stop it.
Right.
Stop it, y'all. Y'all, first of all, pack for your experience, not the gram, not social media.
Right.
You don't need 5 different outfits. If you're with your girls, why do we have 5 different outfits that we need to have every single night of the week, and 2 alternatives? Again, I understand, pack, but you want to look good and you want to feel good. I'm all for that. But also be aware that what is the experience you want to curate, right? You want to be literally weighed down by all the stuff you're not going to use, things you're going to weigh for an hour or 2. You're going on a beach vacation. Why do we need 5 going out outfits for an all-inclusive resort where we don't leave the resort?
Right. And I always say that's the biggest thing, because then most times you see people at the airport checking in on the ground with their luggages open.
Yeah, every time.
Wait. And I'm like, did you not try to even weigh that before you left? Because
And you're going for 5 days. You're
Right.
going for like less than a week. I mean, I understand if you're going away for a while, you're going to check a bag, right? My
Absolutely.
rule of thumb is like if it's less than a week, it's a carry-on. If it's
Yeah.
more than that, or if I have to bring things, I have family in Europe, then I got to check a bag. But I try to avoid checking a bag as much as possible as well. And if you're going for events, also understandable. You need to bring glam, you need to do all those things. But if we said rest and restoration, being restful during this time, please do not be on the floor shoving in all your stuff on these airlines. It's so stressful. Like I get stressed for them when I see it. I'm like,
do
oh,
too. I'm just rolling on with my bag and backpack, like, oh wow, not another one.
and you can fit so much stuff. Like we'll have to talk about like our travel gear, but like there are so many things. I have like a weekender bag that links to my suitcase that
Yep.
is international friendly, and off I go. Like I am ready to go. I put my purse, I have a small purse. I pack in the little backpack for like when I'm just going somewhere and just need like my credit card or whatever and my ID.
Mhm.
We have to have gotten to a place by now, y'all,
Yeah,
where we are not.
you can even buy the little things online, to put your perfume in to transfer swatches.
Yes.
Like it's tiny, it's small. You can get little
Yes.
clutches, like one clutch that's black or white to wear the whole trip. There's so many things I've discovered.
So many. And there's so many. You can get a sample size of your perfume that you could throw
Right.
in your. That's what I use a lot of. I get like little travel sizes of perfumes, throw them in. I know it's never going to be an issue. They're meant to travel. There's just so many hacks that we just don't want to be. Don't have. If there's anything you get from that, don't do that to yourself, y'all. Just get a nice like travel. That kind of reminds me too. I did not ask you about this ahead of time, but do you have any travel gear? Like I have. Like I use like, and you can get any of these things. I get a really good quality suitcase that will last you for years. And there's so many. There's like Monos, Calpac, Away. I mean, there's just so many. And I have like a weekender bag. I use, I think Base is the brand. And I have a little backpack. I switch between the two depending on where I'm going. What's your kind of favorite? A charger, a really cheap, inexpensive phone charger I always bring with me. What's your kind of favorite travel gear?
Yeah, same thing. I have an adapter, depending on where I go, what country or what have you. I switch out backpacks as well. I have one where I can fit my laptop. I have one that's more of like a backpacker type feel. But yeah, I always have the exact same stuff. I have different toiletry size bags depending on how
Yes.
long I'm going for. But yeah, I just have like a kit with like my facial wash, my lotions, all under 100 mil.
Yes. I get samples. Girl, I'm like, all the samples, like I have a whole bag of samples and I'm
I love
like
the
of
idea.
my favorite skincare. Cause like when you go to buy it, you can just be like,
Mhm.
oh, can I get a little sample or whatever that is? So I have all these packets. I throw all that in there. I know I will never be stopped by TSA
Yep.
because if it's in that little packet, I am good to go and
Good.
I don't check a bag. So all of that, absolutely different size toiletry bags. I love that. I have different little backpacks and
Mhm.
it is so beautiful. I don't know if anyone knows the feeling and many of you are probably listening of just rolling through with your carry-on and going right on the plane. Like
Yeah,
you don't, it's
it's the best
amazing.
feeling. And if you have global entry, I do. So if you
I do
have
too.
global entry, you're just walking right through quick.
Yes. Yes.
No
Global
gas
entry.
stopped.
Yes, nothing stopping you. TSA pre-check for Americans as well as global entry. I have global entry as because it's
Mhm.
just like I go overseas a lot. So yes, and yes. Also the booking.com, hotels.com, Expedia, all these different ones have that pay later option. And I always use that because I'm always like a person who's always paranoid until the last minute that like, oh, something might change or I might find a better hotel. And all of those options are great because it allows you to plan, have fun, but be able to, if life happens, which it does, you can adjust and you can pay over time. You could save. You could book that vacation today and then, save, put a little bit away. Like now I know how much it costs. Let me put a little bit away so that it's not going to break me. It is not going to be on my credit card and collect interest. I'm going to be able to enjoy it. So those are really powerful and amazing hacks. I think everyone, I hope you wrote those down.
And I'll just say, even about the book now, pay later, I also think what's great is that majority of the time when you arrive at your destination, you can pay in that currency. So if that currency is less than your own currency, it works perfect because now you're even paying less than you imagined to pay, right?
Yes, that's happened too because the exchange rate has changed. I'm like, oh, yay. All of a sudden, my American dollar is worth a little more. Okay, this went down in price
Right?
versus paying at the time. You're absolutely right on that. And also using your credit card, I would say too, when you travel overseas or out of your country, because it does a better job. Most travel cards do a really good job of kind of minimizing those fees that you might get in conversion and currency. So that's also something to think about. These are great tips. Okay. Now I want to ask you like your favorite places. Like what are your kind of favorite travel destinations? Give me a few of them.
It's forever changing. It
Yes,
used to be
same.
Barbados. It used to be Greece. But
Greece is amazing.
today, I'm obsessed with Japan. There's nothing like I'm still waiting and thinking like, is there anything I didn't like about Japan? But really, I love everything. The culture, the people, the food, the sights, the history, the snacks. I literally just came back from Asia and I had the option to have a 12-hour layover. So my option was California, but I'm like, I've been there a million times, or Japan. And let me tell you, I did my 12-hour in Tokyo just to go to the city, walk across Shibuya Scramble, and get my snacks. That was it.
That's
That was
hilarious.
it. I literally just stopped for snacks, but I was so happy. Like Japan is just wonderful and it's so futuristic. So yeah, if anyone has not been to Japan, please put it high on your list. It's amazing.
All right, it goes high on the list. I've only been to Thailand in Asia. I loved it. It was great, and for me it was a blend of that adventure and relaxation. I went to several parts of Thailand too, so it's like certain parts of it were more relaxing than others. But even like we went to Phuket, and I made sure to get like a hotel way on the outskirts, so it was far away from all the stuff that's happening. It's a very much busy, fun. If you like activity and you want to have fun, it's definitely a good place for that. I was like, nah, just put me by the water all the way out here, and loved it. But I've heard nothing but good things about Japan over and over again. And so maybe let me think about making this a little easier by like category, because you're right. Like different places have different things. So like when you're thinking about eating, what's the place that you're like, this is where I want to go and just eat my way in all the food there?
Hmm. I think it's a toss up for me, between the Caribbean and Central and South America. I'm a rice and beans girly or rice and peas girly, um, plantain, seafood. So I feel like both of those offer a lot of those options.
Absolutely.
That's where I,
Absolutely.
and of course, Nova Scotia in Canada.
For seafood. For
Yes.
seafood. Yeah, 100%. Absolutely. The East Coast for seafood to me, I think there's nothing like it. Just in general, like the Atlantic seafood scene is just like, I know people are going to come for us in the comments and because there's other people like, no, Gulf of Mexico. But I'm just saying, I think Atlantic seafood, I'm an East Coast person. I think there's nothing like it. I'm trying to think like I should want to be fair and be like, what's my favorite travel destination for food? I lived in Italy for a while and I will tell you, I am a rice and peas person, but Italy and the food, I think, and very different than Americanized Italian food.
Mhm.
Like just the simplicity of wrapping like prosciutto and melon together. It doesn't seem like it'd be good, delicious. Like it's very simple. The pasta dishes have like 3 and 4 ingredients, and it's the best. They do a steak like nobody's business if people eat meat or fish, seafood. I was surprised by how well Italians did seafood. I would say for eating outside of the West Indies, because I agree with you on that, like the Caribbean food is bomb. I would say best place to eat, Italy for sure. Not far behind. What best place to relax for you?
Best place to relax. I would say probably the Caribbean. Um, because I feel like anywhere near a beach, but even like an all-inclusive option is always great to relax because then you have the option to stay on the resort, get up if you choose to, go on an excursion. So I'd most likely say the Caribbean just to rest and relax.
I agree with that. I agree. Like I was not an all-inclusive person, but now I've become that. Like now my dreams are like I want one beach vacation, all-inclusive, and I want more like Europe, Asia, like someplace where like it's a mix of me getting out into the world and seeing things and coming back and relaxing. And all-inclusives are great for that because it really allows you that flexibility. If you want to go, there's an excursion every day, all day long. If you want to lay down, no one bothers you. Like they expect you to just be laying out, eating, snacking, drinking for some folks. People are drinking and laying down again. So I really love that. And last but not least, like for adventure, for like getting out, seeing the world, seeing things, where would you say you'd like to go for adventure?
For adventure, Let me think. Adventure would probably be Europe. Um, Again, Europe or Latin America, just because I feel like there's just so much to do, so much to see. But yeah, Europe as well. Like Spain was great. Portugal was amazing. I just feel like there's so many historic things to see, and just yeah, like if you like to hike, there's like they have so many options. So I definitely
Yes,
do that.
I agree with you on that. And Portugal was a pleasant surprise to me. Like I
Me
didn't
too.
expect to love it as much as I did. And I got off and I was like, I love it here. I'm never leaving. I was like, yes, you are, Kelley. You got to
I
go
was like,
make some
can I
money.
live here?
Yes, I was like, I love this place. I love the energy. It was very welcoming. It's the cheapest country in the Western and like Western Europe for sure. I was really surprised by that. I was like, okay, the food is good. This is not expensive. This is fun. And the amount of stuff that you could do around that, I was really blown away by Portugal. So I agree with you. I think everybody else kind of like, oh, Spain doesn't surprise them. Um, but Portugal, I think, is surprising. I also was really surprised by Berlin, Germany. Like, I didn't expect to love it as much as I did. I booked it on a very much a whim. Was like, I gotta do something for a weekend. I was living in Europe. I gotta do something for a weekend. It was cheap. I was like, okay. I did the chase the deal, not the destination. And I got there. The food was amazing. Everything is like really thoughtfully curated and beautiful. And there's a lot of history there, some of which is, obviously there's like East and West Berlin, the wall and all those things. But also they have like some of the best collections of like random historical like they have the Wall of Babylon there, and like they have a lot of like really cool if you're into like history and a history nerd, all of that. And it's just like a relaxing. It was also kind of relaxing. I went to the movies there as well, and I was like, oh, this is not bad. Like, okay, okay, Germany. All right, I'll be here more often. And I've been to Germany a lot, but Berlin was a really nice one.
I'm
All
going to add
right.
it to my list. Thank you.
Add it to your list. I liked Berlin. And I'll put a plug in surprisingly for Eastern Europe because when I lived in Italy, I lived right on the border of Slovenia of all places, Croatia.
Oh,
And honestly, Croatia is like a hidden gem. I'm like, y'all are missing out because Croatia's like, it has parts of like every part of the world. Like it has waterfalls like Latin America and South America has. It has
mhm.
like places that look like Italy and Spain. It is really underrated. There's spas. I had a great time in Croatia and I was surprised by how much I liked it and how much I liked Ljubljana, which is in Slovenia,
Mhm.
but definitely Croatia. I really like I'll put a plug in for Eastern Europe. It was nice.
Yeah, I definitely heard that too for Croatia, and I heard that as well for Albania.
Yes. I've
So
heard nice things about Albania. I will say, do be prepared in like Slovenia. I felt like they stared a little bit. It was me and another black person, and I was like, they are looking at us. I was like, that was a little interesting. In Slovenia, Croatia, not as much, but Croatia, not as much Croatia because I think black people have discovered Croatia and were like having the time. I didn't feel like I experienced any discrimination or didn't feel unsafe. It was just one of those moments where I was like, we're in a little rural part of Slovenia, and they were just like black people. I was like, I'm as surprised as you are. I know. I'm just as surprised as you are
wow.
to be here. But I will say, everywhere else on the list, I did not have a problem. I mean, I know some people have different experiences for different people. We always caveat that, but I did not have a problem with the exception of like Slovenia was a little like, okay. Um, so we have dreamed about all our favorite destinations and all the travel hacks and all the good things. I'm like ready to jump on a plane right now.
I feel the
I'm
same.
like, where we going? Where we going, Keisha? Where we go? Where are you taking me? I'm like, that's where this leads. Plan an itinerary for me. But
Right?
also, I want to make room for the fact that, some people can't get away this summer and they're stuck. And so, what do you recommend about where people should be going, like either physically or mentally, or maybe it's a hack to get you prepped so, like, you're ready for fall or you're ready for something? What could they do to start planning their next adventure?
Absolutely. I would always say stay local, create a vision board and a budget. Right? Like, let's not forget about jumping in our cars and doing road trips. Let's not forget about taking a local train, right? So I always say just look within the vicinity of where you are, create a budget, a vision, and just do it, right? Because we know that travel is expensive, but if you already have a car, you just have to pay the gas to get there. Or you could even do day trips. It doesn't have to be a weekend. It could be a day trip from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., right? It's just based on what you want, right? But I think that's what I would definitely recommend for anybody.
I agree with you. I think there's so much of this glamorization of leaving where you are and going somewhere else. And it's just like, there's a ton of stuff probably in your backyard. What don't you know about where you live? Is
Right.
there a restaurant or an experience within an hour or 2 hour drive that you've always wanted? And then you'll also find deals. Just talk about chasing the deals. Those places always have like a local section if you put where you are,
We
and they'll
do.
be like, this spa is running a deal. Take that spa. Like,
Right.
go to the spa for the day. Like, romanticize your life without worrying about your budget. And there's ways to do that. You can do the huge trip, right? Go around the world. You could do the small trip of like, I went to a museum and I went to the spa.
I agree. I'm a spa girly, so
Me too.
that's
Me too.
But also, like, there's beautiful wineries. I'm sure there's national parks in your area. So these are
Yes.
small things that really don't cost much, right?
They really don't. And are very accessible. Like, that's the goal, is to make it accessible to anyone. So absolutely. Okay, you're definitely planning my next vacation because I need a spa. I need all these things. So Keisha, no pressure, but yeah, I got work for you. My last question for you is about joy. I always ask everybody this. What brings you joy? And even if I can guess what might bring you joy,
Mhm.
how do you protect it and make it possible so it's centered in your life?
Absolutely. So, as you know, I'm here, travel consultant, also travel advisor. So, traveling is my number one. Traveling brings me joy. It gives me the opportunity to rest, to go on adventures, to learn, and also just to turn off reality and take care of my health, including my mental health. And I definitely protect my joy by tuning out all the negatives, all the crazy things happening in the world, and then just tuning back into myself.
Yes.
So that's
Beautifully
how
said. Beautifully said. Okay, well, you heard it first. How can we contact you, Keisha? Because I know some people are probably like, wait, Keisha needs to plan my next vacation.
Absolutely. So on Instagram, it's at Travel Niche Kish. Travel Niche Kish Kish, and I can also redirect you if you're looking to book travel as well, to my travel advisor side as well.
Oh, love that. All right, we're going to make sure that's in the show notes and make sure people connect with you. And I love Travel Niche Kish. What a great name.
Thank
What a great
you.
name for business. Keisha, it's been delightful having you on and really helping us kick off our summer and kick off dreaming and romanticizing our lives both locally and abroad. Thank you so much for being on the podcast today.
You're welcome. Thanks so much for having me, Kelley.
Pleasure.
That's it for today's episode. I hope you enjoyed it. As always, you can like, follow, and subscribe the podcast across all platforms, Black Girl Burnout, and leave a review. You all have left so many beautiful reviews. It truly makes my day, warms my heart, and helps funnel in sponsors and engagement to this podcast. Other ways to support, you can join our huge community over on Instagram and TikTok at Black Girl Burnout, YouTube as well, Black Girl Burnout. Feel free to subscribe. And there you will get new spins on information that I talk about in the podcast in digestible formats appropriate for each one of those. Also, there's Substack. Don't forget about that. That is currently like my favorite thing right now. There's several thousands of us over there subscribed to the Black Girl Burnout Substack, where I give you more deep-rooted tools and tips and reflections on the daily episodes and themes of the month. All right. Now, don't forget, we're going to have a Q&A episode coming up pretty soon, so don't forget to submit your questions. I'm going to answer them in July in a special episode just for that. And if you are in New York State and think you might want to do some short-term telehealth therapy, I'm opening up a small caseload. If you're interested, there's going to be a link in the show notes to book a consultation with me. All right, until next week, rest well, be safe, and enjoy your summer.